EXT, Ohio Valley Frontier, night, 1794. A low fog rolls over the black soil of the Ohio Valley. Trees claw upward like charred skeletons in the moonlight. The cries of whippoorwills echo, shrill, restless. And then, a woman screams. Her voice cuts through the mist like a blade. Desperate. Frightened. Human. Clothes on. Chains, thick and rusted, clamp tight around bruised wrists. They rattle as she twists, bound to the trunk of an ancient oak tree. Her breath clouds the air, her face streaked with blood and mud. A voice murmurs in voiceover, low and steady. Narrator, VO. They said she was a witch. A traitor. A killer. But the truth was simpler, and far more dangerous. She was innocent. Cut to black. EXT small frontier settlement, earlier that day. Dust churns beneath galloping hooves. Men shout. A bell rings out from the chapel tower. Eliza Warren is dragged through the main road by two rough-looking militiamen. Her bonnet hangs torn, her shawl barely clings to her shoulders. Women avert their eyes. Children stare. A man spits in the dirt. One militiaman sneers. Militiaman. She smiled at a redskin once. That's proof enough for me. They toss her against a wagon. She groans but stays upright. Proud. Defiant, even in pain. Flashes of memory. A baby's cough in a candlelit room. A grave, hastily dug, beneath a maple tree. A folded Continental Army uniform, stained with blood. Narrator, VO. Eliza Warren was the widow of a soldier. A healer. A woman who knew too much, and had no one left to protect her. EXT Town Center, tribunal stump, moments later. The local magistrate, a thin man with a trembling jaw, addresses the crowd. Magistrate. She was found near the burned cabins, tending to a wounded savage. That alone is treason. Crowd murmurs. Eliza lifts her chin. Eliza. I bound his wound so he wouldn't die screaming. Not for his sake. For yours. A stone flies, hits her cheek. Blood drips from her lip. The mob swells with rage. Shouts rise. Hang her. Brand her. Let the forest take her. One man steps forward, Lieutenant Granger. A clean-shaven, sharp-eyed officer with the calm cruelty of a butcher. He taps the hilt of his sword. Granger. No rope. No fire. Chain her to the old oak. If the Shawnee find her before the wolves do, that's justice. Eliza locks eyes with him. Eliza. You wear a uniform. But you're no soldier. He leans in, whispers coldly. Granger. No, ma'am. I'm a cleaner. And you're a stain. EXT edge of the forest, nightfall. The tree stands alone, its bark gnarled like scarred skin. Iron shackles dangle from it, relics of a cruel tradition. They shove Eliza against it. The bark cuts into her back. Chains snap shut with a finality that says, no one is coming for you. Granger tips his hat. Granger. May the spirit sort you out. They leave her. The forest swallows their torchlight. Their laughter fades. EXT forest, later that night. The silence is heavy. Her breath is ragged. Blood trickles down her wrist where the chain's edge bit deep. Moonlight bathes her face. We see her clearly now. She's in her early 30s. Dirt-streaked, but striking. A woman who has known loss intimately, and has grown fierce to survive it. She mutters through chattering teeth. Eliza. This is how it ends. Alone, in the dark. But it doesn't feel like the end. Something moves in the woods. She hears it, soft footfalls, just outside the firefly glow. She tenses. Then, a low growl. Eyes shine in the dark. A panther? A wolf? Her heartbeat thunders. Her hands twist, desperate, at the chains. The creature snarls. But then, a whistle. A shadow rises among the trees. Human. Still. Watching. Eliza gasps. Her eyes widen, not in fear, but confusion. The silhouette wears no uniform. No hat. Just feathers. A bow. A single arrow flashes through the dark. Twang. Thwack. It hits the chain. Sparks fly. A heavy link snaps clean, as if sliced by fate itself. The chain falls. Her arms collapse to her sides, numb. She stumbles forward onto her knees. She looks up, eyes searching for her savior. But the trees hold their silence. The shadow is gone. Only the wind remains. Close on, Eliza's face. A mixture of awe, pain, and something deeper, hope, flickering like a candle flame. Narrator, VO. The frontier knew no mercy. But sometimes, mercy found a way. Fade out. A fire crackles softly beneath a shelter of pine boughs. Smoke curls into the canopy. Moonlight dapples the forest floor. Close on. Eliza's face, sweat beading on her brow. She stirs, eyelids fluttering. She tries to move and winces, her muscles stiff, her wrists raw. Her hand rests on something unfamiliar, deerskin. Clean. Warm. She looks down, someone wrapped her in it. She sits up. Across the fire sits a man. Still. Silent. Long braids frame his face, and a feather is tied to his bowstring. Tattoos coil around his arm. His gaze doesn't leave her, but he doesn't move. Eliza. Horse. You. She coughs. He raises a hand, not threatening, just quieting. Takwa, the Shawnee warrior, stares at her with eyes that seem to hold centuries. Narrator, VO. He was the one who shattered the chain. And now, in the stillness of the forest, he waited, not for thanks, but to see who she truly was. EXT Forest Path, earlier, flashback. Eliza, unconscious, slung over the back of a pony. Takwa walks beside her, moving like a shadow, scanning the woods with instinctual precision. A branch breaks in the distance, his hand goes to his bow. But nothing follows. He doesn't look at her. But he doesn't leave her. EXT Forest Campsite, present. Eliza drinks from a leather pouch he places beside her. The water is cold, clean. She studies him as she drinks. His face is carved with patience, but there is a hardness there. Oh wait. She tries again. Eliza. Why? He meets her eyes. Takwa. You were not meant for that tree. She blinks. His English is rough, but deliberate. Every word carefully chosen. Eliza. And you? Are you meant to be my judge? No answer. He stands. Walks to the edge of camp. Listens. The forest breathes. EXT Riverbank, next morning. They walk in silence. Her steps are slow, her legs ache from captivity. He offers no help, only the pace of patience. The river rushes nearby. A sudden storm darkens the sky. Takwa. Storm comes fast. Eliza looks up. Thunder rumbles. A fork of lightning splits the horizon. Eliza. You don't speak much, do you? He glances at her. Takwa. Words are not always truth. She chuckles dryly. Eliza. No. But sometimes, they're all we have. Rain begins to fall. EXT Woodland Stream, minutes later. They ford the river. It's waist-deep, icy. She stumbles, her legs give out. A flash of panic, she goes under. Takwa dives without hesitation. Underwater. Limbs tangle. Her hair swirls. She claws for air. A hand grabs hers. They surface, gasping. He drags her to the bank, both soaked and shivering. She coughs violently. Eliza. Wheezing. You didn't have to do that. Takwa. Did it anyway. EXT Sheltering Ledge, night. They sit under a jut of rock as the storm rages. Takwa sharpens a blade by firelight. Eliza watches him from the corner of her eye. She speaks quietly. Eliza. I lost my daughter, 3 winters ago. He doesn't look at her, but his hand stills. Eliza. Fever came fast. Nothing I had could save her. I buried her with a hair ribbon. She trembles, eyes glistening. Eliza. They think I'm a witch. For knowing herbs. For helping your people. For trying to do what I couldn't do for her. A long pause. Takwa. My brother died at the hands of men who wore your flag. He had no weapon. Only a deer he hunted. Eliza's breath catches. He finally meets her eyes. Takwa. Pain lives on both sides. Narrator, VO. 2 wounds. One old. One fresh. And in the silence between them, recognition. EXT Wilderness, next day. They travel through thick underbrush. The path is barely visible, known only to those born to it. A growl pierces the air. They freeze. A pack of wolves emerges, lean, hungry. Takwa steps forward, knife in hand. One wolf lunges. He spins, slashing its side. Eliza grabs a branch, swinging blindly. Another wolf falls with a yelp. The others scatter. She collapses, heaving, blood on her sleeve. He touches her arm gently, inspecting the gash. Takwa. Not deep. You live. Eliza. You say that like it's a threat. He almost smiles. EXT Forest Campfire, night. They sit beside a small fire. Stars blink through the treetops. Eliza hums softly, a tune almost lost to time. Takwa tilts his head. Takwa. That song? Eliza. My mother used to sing it. He nods slowly. Takwa. So did mine. She looks at him for a long moment. Eliza. What's your name? Takwa. Takwa. It means hawk. She holds out her hand. Hesitant. Not expecting him to take it. He does. A quiet handshake, rough fingers, calloused palms. A fragile truce. EXT, Overlook Ridge, dawn. They stand on a high ridge. The forest stretches for miles. Mist curls in the valleys. Below them, smoke rises, black, ugly. A settlement burns. Takwa. Militia did this. Blame your escape. Seek us now. Eliza watches the smoke, her fists clenching. Eliza. They'll burn everything just to hide a lie. He nods. Takwa. They do not know you yet, but they fear you. She turns to him. Eliza. And you? Do you? He holds her gaze. The silence hangs, brittle. Takwa. No. EXT old game trail, later. They move faster now. The forest seems darker. Crows circle above. Eliza speaks quietly. Eliza. Why did you help me? Takwa stops. Turns. Takwa. I watched you tend to a dying boy. Not Shawnee. Not one of yours. You gave him your last poultice. Eliza. He didn't even know my name. Takwa. But you knew his pain. He steps closer. Places something in her hand. A carved stone pendant, smooth, simple. A talisman. Takwa. You walk the path between. Neither side claims you. That is dangerous. She studies it. Eliza. And yet, here I am. He says nothing, but she sees something change in his eyes, a flicker of respect. EXT forest clearing, night. They make camp one last time before dawn. The fire is small, hidden from sight. Distant howls sound to the north. Eliza lies on her side, staring at the pendant. Takwa sits nearby, sharpening his arrows. She watches him. Eliza. You saved me from the tree. Takwa. The forest showed me. Eliza. Then I owe the forest my life. Takwa. No. Just your next step. They sit in silence again. But this time, it's not hollow. It's earned. Fade out. Narrator, VO. The wilderness tested them. Pain shaped them. But trust, that rare, precious fire, began to burn between them. EXT's edge of a charred settlement, dusk. Cinders drift through the air like black snowflakes. The wooden beams of a burned homestead creak, collapsing inward. Crows perch on what remains of a sign, Oak Hollow. Eliza kneels in the ashes. Her fingers sift through the soot until they stop, buried cloth, scorched but familiar. A doll's head. Smudged with soot, one button eye melted. Narrator, VO. This place had once been home. Now, it was a graveyard, and a warning. Behind her, Takwa stands motionless. He scans the horizon. Takwa. Tracks. 2 days old. Headed east. Eliza. Militia? He nods. Takwa. And someone else. Rider. Light horse. Maybe woman. Her eyes narrow. Eliza. Rachel. Flashback, int. Cellar, 2 weeks earlier. Rachel, a young girl with hazel eyes, Eliza's neighbor's daughter. Shackled beside Eliza. Frightened, coughing. Rachel. They said you'd save us. Eliza squeezed her hand. Eliza. I'll try. EXT the mountain trail, next morning. Eliza and Takwa move swiftly. The path narrows into shale and mist. The wind howls. Below, a canyon yawns. A signal fire burns in the distance. Controlled. Deliberate. Takwa kneels. Takwa. They call for allies. War party, maybe. Not just militia. Eliza. Then we find her before they do. EXT night, hilltop camp. They stop to rest. Fire low, covered by stones. Takwa tends to his arrows, carefully inspecting each one. Eliza watches him. Eliza. Why didn't you kill me, when you first found me? Takwa. Would you have killed me, if our places were changed? A pause. Eliza. I don't know. Maybe. Takwa. Then we are the same. Beat. She shifts closer to the fire. Eliza. What happens if we don't find her? He doesn't answer. EXT Pine Ridge, sunrise. The forest opens into a hidden valley. There, beneath a dead oak tree, Rachel is chained. Her wrists hang high. Her face is bruised. Around her, 3 men in militia garb laugh, eating from tin plates. A fourth cleans a musket. His coat bears a red sash. Blair Morgan. The same man who chained Eliza weeks before. Narrator, VO. There are men who wield fire not for warmth, but for fear. Blair Morgan was one of them. EXT Ridgeline, moments later. Eliza and Takwa crouch, hidden behind brambles. She clenches her jaw. Eliza. He did this. He's the one who put me on that tree. Takwa. Not just him. She looks at the girl below. Rachel lifts her head weakly. Their eyes meet. Eliza. We go now. Takwa shakes his head. Takwa. Too many. Open ground. Eliza. Then give me a bow. He looks at her. Then, slowly, hands her a short recurve. Lightweight. Familiar. Takwa. Only aim when heart is still. EXT oak tree clearing, minutes later. Tension thickens like fog. Blair pours whiskey into a tin cup. Blair. She ain't gonna last long. Not like the other one. What was her name? Eliza something? He laughs. Militia man number 1. The witch? She's crow food by now. Militia man number 2. You should have burned her instead of tying her. A sharp whistle cuts the air. They spin. An arrow buries itself into the dirt, inches from Blair's boot. Takwa, OS. Let the girl go. Chaos. Blair shouts. The others draw pistols, firing blindly into the trees. Gunfire explodes. From the ridge, Eliza releases a second arrow. It strikes a man in the shoulder. He screams, falling. Takwa charges from the trees, a blur of speed and precision. He disarms the second man, slamming him into a trunk. Blair grabs Rachel, pulling her upright, pistol to her temple. Blair. Back off. Or the girl dies. Eliza freezes on the ridge, bowstring pulled tight. Rachel whimpers. Blair. Come down, Eliza. Come see what you cost these people. Eliza, OS. You're right. She steps into view, lowering the bow. Eliza. I did cost them. I didn't speak loud enough. I didn't fight hard enough. She steps closer. Eliza. But I'm not afraid anymore. Blair tightens his grip. Blair. Then you die with her. He cocks the hammer. Twang. The arrow whistles from the forest. Split. The chain shatters. Rachel falls, free. Blair spins, too late. Takwa's second arrow hits him in the chest. He stumbles, gasping, then crumples beside the tree he used to terrorize others. EXT clearing, moments later. Rachel sobs in Eliza's arms. Takwa stands beside them, watchful, silent. Eliza brushes the girl's hair back. Rachel. I thought you were gone. Eliza. I was. But he brought me back. She turns to Takwa. Eliza, CONT'd. Why risk it? Why not just keep walking? He studies her. Takwa. Because sometimes, a tree must fall to free the forest. EXT Ridge Overlook, later that day. Smoke curls from the remains of the militia camp. Eliza, Rachel, and Takwa walk along a deer trail. The sun cuts through the canopy. Rachel sleeps against Eliza's side, wrapped in a deerskin cloak. They stop at a fork in the path. Takwa. My way is east. Eliza. And ours? Takwa. North. Safer path. Less hunted. A long silence. Eliza. Will I see you again? He shrugs. Takwa. The forest decides. He turns. Begins to walk. Then stops. Takwa, CONT'd. You were never meant for chains. Eliza. And you were never meant to walk alone. He nods once. Then vanishes into the trees, as silently as he came. EXT Northern Outpost, weeks later. Eliza steps into a dusty street, Rachel holding her hand. Faces turn, whispers follow. She walks tall. Eyes steady. Narrator, VO. She had been broken, but not defeated. Marked, but not diminished. She walked not as a victim, but as one who had seen death, and denied it her soul. Int. Schoolhouse, day. Rachel and other children sit at wooden desks. Eliza writes on a slate. Outside, snow begins to fall. A pendant hangs from a hook beside the door, a smooth stone carved with a hawk's wing. Fade to black. Narrator, VO. Some scars are not worn on skin, but on spirit. And sometimes, salvation comes not from saints, but from strangers, with steady hands and quiet hearts. Call to action, VO. If Eliza's story moved you, if you believe in the quiet strength of the forgotten and the fierce justice of the forest, then share this tale. Like, comment, and subscribe for more untold stories from the edge of history.